Misfits the super team. Best team ever by Soas. That's it from us here. Let's hand it over to PGL.
Hold it.
Hold the bottle, as we're already listening. Welcome everyone to the LEC post-game lobby. I'm Sjokz, joined by Drakos, Maxlore, and Febiven. Maxlore just took a sip of water and was wondering what to do with the bottle. You can also just put it on the, roll it on the floor or something.
But then I can't get it back because like
That is true.
I can't reach. That's a bit of a.
These are the important
Yeah.
questions we like to ask.
I mean, you said put it
This
there.
is wow.
I would just claim it then.
Just take the
Yeah, it's
burden.
fine.
Great,
share.
fantastic. So yeah, we're just going to talk about where they're going to put the water. Just kidding, we're going to talk about your victory. Congratulations. It was a very nice one to watch, and there were some moments in there where OG definitely did fight back. Febiven, what was overall your impression of your gameplay, and why do you think you won today?
I mean, it's really hard to tell. Like, I was just farming mid lane, Apkali against Galio, you know, it's like I can't really do much. And then my team was suddenly ahead, so...
And then you're a Kali. So.
I mean, then I'm a Kali, you know, I'm fine scaling. But, I mean, I think my team just outplayed them 4v4, basically. I wasn't really in the play. And then, like, yeah, obviously in team fights, I can do my job, right? And I think we just did a good job snowballing and, you know, continue getting ahead.
Snowballing, you say. Well, Maxlore was, of course, on Nunu. Not a pick we've seen in the LEC yet. Tell me how it worked in this game and how you were able to snowball the game off it.
Well, obviously, I mean, I don't want
No.
to like go too much into detail, but we just thought it was a good pick. My top laners just said, I mean, I gave the options, and you know, we were like, oh yeah, we like this one, and we went with Nunu, and it really worked out with the type of composition we had, and we actually managed to get to mid-late game with our champ, so...
You gave no information.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to like give like a freaking like jungle tutorial so that my enemies can know how I think. That's not happening.
That's a great point. So let me then just say that you've been on fire, actually, in this Misfits lineup. You were fantastic in week 1, here now again. So maybe you can talk to me about, you know, how your motivation and what it's like in this new team this year.
Well, I mean, last year I learned a lot about myself and a lot, like I just learned more about team stuff or just life in general. So I'm just using the information and the experience I've gained from last year, especially through losses. I learned a lot from that and trying my best to help my team and achieve greatness and have fun, really. Mm-hmm. The team is really good. I really like how everyone is really motivated. Like, I can't really say about, like, for example, this guy, you know, if he instant scrims or something, he would just like be really mad and he would just like say,
Sometimes I would
okay,
get mad,
okay,
not
but
always.
I mean, okay, I'm not saying always, but like he would just like, you can see he's like not very happy with himself and he just really has a drive, for example, and the whole team is kind of like that. So it's really motivating, and we just, even though scrims aren't the best sometimes, it's just like we perform well on stage.
As a follow-up, on Twitter before this matchup, you and your old friend Barney Alfari Morris had some hot exchange of words. So I'm curious, how do you feel now that the matchup is passed? Now that you've won the day, is it time to like dig in? Is it time to pour salt in the wound? Or are you going to back off and be the bigger man here?
Nah, honestly, I wanted to carry on yesterday. That's my biggest regret, but I'm afraid I would get banned. I already have a warning for saying a comment, and I wanted to say something similar. But yeah, I didn't. Yeah, so I just held back. Winning against him is like winning against any other team. However, like I just hope he bounces back, and he's a great player.
Yeah, I mean, Origin overall also losing in this game. They went 1-1 last week, but we're hearing rumbles that they are actually possibly a team that could be up there in the top 3, top 4, maybe. We've seen some flashes of that. How do you guys look towards that? Where do you think OG can end up?
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I feel like in scrims, like they have been good, you know, like they are actually like beating us. And I mean, like pretty much every team in scrim are beating us, but I feel like, I don't know, today I expected way stronger performance. Like, I don't know what happened exactly. I have to rewatch the game, but we won pretty, like, in a, you know, pretty easy way. I felt like it wasn't that much contesting from their side, and, you know, it was pretty much one-sided the whole game if we didn't, like, you know, made like 2 or 3 mistakes. So I'm not sure. I mean, maybe they just have to keep, you know, fighting and practice and perform on stage, because that's what matters.
That's what's lacking. Yeah.
Well, I feel like there's a couple moments in the early game we can look back on. One was a fantastic new gank bot lane where you adapted the fantastic strategy of not trying to kill the AD carry with the Tom Kench, but instead killing the Tom Kench. Well done.
Thank you.
Sadly for Mithy, had heal when he died. I don't think anyone knows how much damage that stupid Nunu snowball does. I didn't.
Nobody ever
I don't think Mizzy did in that situation. He went down, and it just felt like the second the Kog'Maw bot lane had to play 100% on the back foot, you guys were in control. On top of that, Soaz is getting kills top lane on his own.
Yep.
And you're talking about not being able to do anything in your mid lane matchup, but honestly, the second your Vayne got out of lane and was able to roam and no one could really like 1v1 contest this champion, I felt like you were all over the map. Like you said in the replay that we saw, you were able to flank in every single team fight because they were so busy trying to protect the Kog'Maw, they couldn't stop you from getting an angle in. So to me, it just looked like OG lost in a part of the game we did not expect them to lose in. And the second that they were behind, you guys just, I mean, you had the composition to take it home. It did get a little shaky there at a few points.
Yeah.
There were a
Then
few
you're
team
like, the
fights.
Kog'Maw, now he can kill
Oh yeah, the
everyone.
Kog'Maw can kill people now. This is bad news, but I mean,
It could.
I'm gonna be honest. When you guys got triple infernal, double mountain
With Vayne.
with
And
Vayne,
Akali.
with Vayne and Akali,
Yeah, there you go.
it's like okay, Tom
Against
Kench
3
can.
tanks.
Yeah,
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy stuff.
unlucky on the Dragon RNG for Origin. That would be my biggest feedback
Wow,
for them.
this is quite the monologue, Drake.
Roll the
Anything
dice
else?
better. I've been waiting. You know, they've been talking a lot. You gotta let me jump in. I've been on interviews all day. I need to like vomit my opinions out.
No, of course, no problem at all. I am going to ask our guests just a couple more questions before we move on. Febiven, we're really happy to have you back, of course. It's really nice that just some and a lot of players are coming back around the way here. Mithy, obviously, was here on PG also last week. So what's it been like? What's it been like being back in Europe? Probably seeing a lot of people that you haven't seen in a while, training here, playing here on the server again.
I mean, it's really nice. Like just like the drive that people have here, and like the you know, like how much people want to win, how much they communicate. At least my teammates, you know, they're like really trying hard, and I feel like the skill ceiling is also really high just because, you know, of the EU solo queue, and there's a lot of good talent, and you know, we have world's players in this team, and everyone is, you know, practicing smart, communicating smart. And yeah, I mean, solo queue is nice, you know, like I feel like I'm learning way more here than I was in NA, in solo queue at least, and also just in practice, because if the solo queue practice is worse, then it's natural that the you know, the competition is also worse. So yeah, just everything I feel like is better in Europe.
Do you feel like you, over in NA, that you plateaued in a way that you, because of course when you left, you were one of the best mid laners here. You had that insane year also in 2015, and we really thought it was just going to go up and up from there. Do you feel like you needed this new kind of challenge to grow further as a player?
I mean, just going to NA, like it's just, it's a new experience, you know.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I think it was just an unlucky year, I would say. Like, you know, I joined a new organization, you know, with players that haven't really like had that much success before, and you know, it just didn't really work out. But I mean, I don't regret it, you know. It's like I tried it, and now I'm back, and I'm happy I'm back.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to go back too, so I'm happy with my decision, and I'm happy that Misfits wanted me in the team, because I mean, that's just a really good team, and the roster as well, and I'm just super happy.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to have you playing here again. Maxlore, what's it been like playing with Gorilla? We just heard him saying here that, you know, he thinks his English isn't perfect. In some listen-ins that we've heard in videos, we do hear him, of course, communicating quite a bit on the Rift. So what's that like, and where should it be? Do you want him to be able to speak perfect English and communicate, or how's that process going?
No, I think his English skills are fantastic. Possibly better than someone on my team, which I won't rat out. However, he just, the thing is, obviously, because English is not his primary language, he has to focus more on speaking English. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in his brain, it's like when he hears a word in English, he translates it to Korean to understand. So he just needs to get more comfortable and then let it be more of a habit rather than him actually having to think. So then he has more time to think about other things like, I don't know, support roams or whatever, you know, but I still think he's
What
doing
to get for dinner?
Yeah, exactly. But I still think he's doing a fantastic job in a lot of things, like in game and also out of game. He's a fantastic person.
Yeah, he looks insane on the Rift, we have to say. We know he has a great legacy as well. Drakos, he's really impressed us so far. I think it was a bit of a question mark because you don't really know how players are going to adjust, but it looks like he's smurfing half the time.
It's really good. And I think the biggest question, and Frost has brought this up a lot before, I think a lot of people in the broadcast have, is that he was not historically a super aggressive player, but the ways that you guys have set up and played around bot lane has consistently looked good and has required him to be aggressive, has required him to play Rakan, this Alistar, and honestly, it's refreshing to see a player adapt so quickly into the role that they need. And for Hans, a player who, when he first set foot on the stage, was like always struggled to replicate those performance in high pressure games, to be so consistently aggressive and so good after all these years is just like fantastic. I think this is the best state the Misfits bot lane has really ever been in.
Yeah, I agree. It's very exciting to watch as well. Finally, Soaz, we touched on him already. He's also our player of the game with 44% of the vote. The people nominated were Hansama, Gorilla, and Soaz. And we had your back, Maxlore. Sorry, Febi, we didn't have yours. Me and Drakos said that Maxlore should be in the vote.
Actually, I put Maxlore out, which I regret because I forgot about the early game. But the late game,
hard. For you guys, it's actually one of the hardest things because you guys all play very well. And usually people end up voting for Hansama, but now they did for Soaz, which is good.
I mean, he did a great job
You're
playing.
salty. Are you salty?
No. He just roasted me, so I mean, what can I do, you know? Like,
Welcome
I
back
just
to Europe.
I just sit here and just laugh, you know?
No, I'm kidding. It was just factual that we ended up giving Maxlore's name and not yours in this instance, but in others.
but Soaz won and not Hansama.
Hey, are you gonna take that? They're just par in your life. Like
we're not.
you're just gonna sit there and
Player
smile
of the
and
game is so useless. Like I had so many
Don't say
player of the
that.
games like before, but it didn't do anything.
Players of the games don't win you titles. There we go.
Exactly.
That's true.
A team like yours.
They did
false
help you knock
confidence.
TSM out in Spring Split,
That
though,
is
so that
true.
was nice.
Yeah.
The Swain days. You remember you were kind of a one trick? You played Swain every game? It was a good time.
you're still getting roasted. Like, are you gonna just sit there and take it?
Yeah,
Or-
I was-
No, actually, so speaking of Febiven, one thing I am excited about was I know you had a bad matchup today, but after the Lissandra games to start out, I think, because there was rumors as to like how you were going to adapt coming back, I was like, ooh, Lissandra, crutch champion, like not super. I think
Sandra's a fantastic champion.
No, but Lissandra Galio, it's like you've got Aftershock, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna
No,
impact a team fight.
You know, with the champs, you actually win your lane, right?
With which
Like
one?
if someone picks Galio,
Ooh,
if
okay.
someone picks Galio and doesn't win his lane, then there's something wrong, you know?
No, these
No,
champs
I'm not.
are bad.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking.
Oh, yeah,
bad of
actually,
you.
yeah, they're bad.
They're bad. They're bad.
No, you're fine. They're good champions.
never
But I
pick
mean,
them.
they're not as mechanically demanding as a champion like a Kali.
Yeah,
so I
but-
was worried about your mechanics, and then you popped off a little bit today in these fights, and I was trying to get around to praising you. Calm down. I'm not coming at you. I'm trying to balance it out.
So this is now turning into the
No.
Praise Febi show.
I'm trying to balance it. You
I
know?
thought they were gonna flame.
No,
like,
no, I'm
Galio
not
Lissandra
flaming.
for
Oh, yeah.
being
No.
supportive champions, but
No,
they're actually
no,
like
they're good, and I know that my thing was I wanted to see your mechanics, and your Lissandra mechanics were fine, but when you played a Kali, I got to see
To be
some
fair,
real
Kali
mechanics.
is a bit overtuned.
like Lissandra doesn't really have mechanics, to be honest.
That was my only point.
you can eat backwards, like
You can do the Hex Flash thing.
You could do that. So
Whatever.
anyway, let's take a look at the standings because there's good news there for Misfits. They're on top. Oh no.
No, but why
no,
are they
wait.
always ahead?
Well, it's, the
Alphabetical
alphabet.
order,
It's the
guys.
alphabet.
You guys got to change your team name
Oh,
to
three
A
numbers.
Misfits
Why don't you put like
Gaming.
next to each other?
Because graphically that would look ugly.
No.
Okay. So there's just one thing I want to say to start off about Misfits is that they're in first place, and a lot of that has to do with their superstar mid laner, Fabian Febiven Diepstraat, and he's really been on fire, I have to say. So yeah, G2 is like also.
Can't take it
At this
serious.
point, it just sounds like more BM.
It's not.
I think she's being sarcastic.
I'm really not.
All I'm saying is, week 5, Misfits versus G2.
Yes, let's go.
Now, I'm not biased, but if neither of you win a game, that will be the greatest LEC match of all time. Now,
What
admittedly,
do you
it
mean,
will-
neither win a game? What do you mean?
neither of you drop a game.
Oh,
It
drop
was,
yeah, yeah.
it was the same in summer. We were both 6-0, I think, or something, and we played them. But obviously,
Crushed them.
we're just thinking. I'm not gonna. You didn't ask a question, but we're just thinking about this week to week. We're not thinking about week 5. We have to think tomorrow about Vitality.
Yeah, that's true. Vitality
And-
looked good today. That's a good segue. Do we want to take that one?
Vitality? No, because I want to talk about Fnatic as well.
okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's talk about
I was trying to
Fnatic.
get you out of the purpose.
Febby, your ex-team, Fnatic, obviously it's completely different now. What do you think is going on there?
I don't know, they just suck. Like
Okay.
they're just not playing well. Like I don't know how they're doing in scrims, you know. We've not played against them, but like in the games, What are you
You're
saying?
leaking info, man. We don't
Wait,
talk about...
how
He
is that
said
leaking?
you didn't play them.
Yeah,
yet.
but that's the point. You're not meant to...
They've played them
Jesse's going to tell you off.
an
That's all I'm saying.
undetermined number of times, audience.
Okay, they just suck. I don't know. Like they're not performing on stage, and I feel like they're playing really passive and just messing up team fights. And I don't know, they just don't play well around their lanes.
Ooh, if you could change one thing that you think would fix Fnatic, what do you think the biggest thing is that if you just changed it would make this team?
Caps has to be back.
I mean,
People brought that one up for sure. Not an
yeah.
original
I
one,
mean-
but definitely a good one.
I feel like let's not dance around that. Caps is an incredible player, right?
Yeah.
But today also Nemesis wasn't necessarily the issue. I guess maybe the issue is that it's his style, or is it?
I mean, if you really analyze that game properly, like the guy who even got first blood, but he just did nothing. Like after even the kill, and he was still 30 CS behind. So I mean, you can say that, like, of course he didn't die and stuff, and he just pressed his skills, but like he didn't push his lead, and when he should have, So, I mean,
No, you can say that. That's what we've been identifying as the fact that he's just not as aggressive at all, and also not pushing the leads for now, which could be like a timid issue because he's only playing in this new team just now. But the synergy is also off with the other members. Nothing seems to click the way it has.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure.
All right, cool. Oh, we'll see. Max, do you have anything to say about that?
I'm just surprised you don't have like a slide with where is Reckless, like last split, but...
Which means he's playing.
So he can't sub himself out
Wait, is
anymore. I
that
don't know
the
if you know this, but
Oh, okay.
Wait, are you implying you
Doesn't
haven't
have-
seen him?
Oh, no, I'm not implying that. I'm just like something more similar, like, I don't know, where is Caps or something.
Okay. Yeah, we did have about 17
I mean-
segments of Where is Reckless when he
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
playing.
it's true. People do
It's
love
true.
Reckless. I feel like we
Yeah.
gave the people what they wanted.
Yeah.
And people do also love Caps, and he's on G2, and you
Yeah.
can see the effect. And for Fnatic,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to put all this pressure on Nemesis because I think
No,
it's
no,
unfair,
no.
and I think probably part of the reason, because like this, obviously, when this guy was scouted, people saw something in him, and we've seen the two other mid laners, Humanoid and Abadage, coming in look really good.
Yeah.
So I have to believe that there's something there, but also the amount of pressure difference between going into a team like Splice or Schalke and going into a team like Fnatic, especially after they're in World Finals, is insane. So week 3, if they're 0-6, I'll be like, all right, something needs to change, and I would not be afraid to look at the mid lane. But you do have to cut this guy a little slack because I am sure the
for
amount of
sure.
hate messages he is getting, swapping out for Caps, that is a very hard position to be in.
Yeah, I hope he's getting the right kind of help from his surroundings as well, how to deal with that on a psychological level, because that is not easy. So we'll see. Before we continue, if you'd have to pick one team that you think is going to surprise and end up higher than people anticipate,
That's a blower.
I'm not picking that up.
which would it be? Did you hear my question?
Team that's
team to
going to
surprise?
surprise.
Yeah, a team that's going to surprise and be much higher up than people anticipate.
Origin?
Origin?
Or actually, XL maybe, actually.
XL?
Yeah.
It's either XL or Origin.
Why XL?
I mean, they were close against G2 today. I didn't see the whole match. However, I think
sure
K-Draw is actually like pretty good. And the team play decently well around him. And Origin, like I've seen how they can perform in scrims, and they have smart players, so they just need to transition that to stage and not play against us.
Yeah, I think the same. We think the same. Always the same. So.
You guys are completely aligned. I love
Yeah, we're
it.
just-
Well, something else that is very interesting, along with all the new teams and the new studio and all that, is that we have a new playoff format. So let's take a look.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the LEC. Now we've made a few changes to our format, and it's pretty straightforward. So without further ado, let's take a look. During the regular season, our 10 teams will compete against each other in a double round robin best-of-1 format over 9 weeks. Now it's time for the playoffs. Each match will be played in a best-of-5. To start off, in round 1, teams ranked 3 to 6 will face off, but with a catch. Team number 3 will have a choice of playing team number 5 or team number 6. For this video's sake, let's say they choose team number 5, which means that team number 4 will play against team number 6. In round 2, not only do we get the winners from the previous week fighting it out, but also get to see 2 juggernauts in team number 1 taking on team number 2. Now it's on to round 3, with the winner of the juggernauts moving directly into the finals. On Saturday, April 13th, the loser of match 4 will play the winner of match 3, and on Sunday, we've got the cream of the crop playing against one another for a winner-take-all.
Your opponents get a free loss depending on how. Oh,
So
Yeah, we were explaining
Yeah,
this
no,
one.
definitely so.
So the graphic really helps. Thank you, production team, for freezing on the graphic. But the issue that Febi brought up is like, all right, team 1-2, why are you playing each other? As a reminder to everybody, it's kind of half a double elimination bracket. And if you finish in the first or second spot, then you can lose a match and still be in playoffs. If you lose there in the team 1v2 match, you will play the winner of the first set of matches of this round 2. And the team that wins there gets auto-seeded into the finals, gets to sit kind of like this mini gauntlet big boss status. So it's a good spot to be.
How will it work in terms of timing? Because before it was just like 3 weeks, right?
It is 3 weeks. It'll be
Huh.
so the first week we'll have these two here, and then second week these two best of fives, and then on the road show on the day where we would have had the third place match, you'll have this one, and then the finals best of 5 on the next. So it's still 3-week period and still the same amount of best of fives. The only thing is that there will only be 3 teams going to Rotterdam on the road show. In this case, because that's the configuration.
Yeah, it just might suck a bit if you lose, and you have to play like 2 best of 5s in a row, and you give when you do your week of practice, and then let's say team 2, or even team 3 as well, they like
Have
show
to
that
play
how they
again.
draft,
Show their hand.
then they're gonna play on stage, show all their moves, all the cards they can play, and then next day you have to play again, so maybe you're fatigued, and already team 1 in this case would have practiced a week, you don't know what picks they're seeing, and their draft will be a lot easier. So
Yeah, in a way, it's of course in part of that is like your reward because you beat then the team where you're closest to or should be in the regular season. I do follow you. Of course, it's going to be very tricky. Like you don't want to lose this match at all.
I mean,
in this position,
it just makes it more work. Like team 1 is just like in such a good position, so it's best to
Just
come
get number
first and
1.
win it all.
And also 3 is
it's
very
like way
nice
more
there, too.
rewarding, but I
And
guess,
for me, just as a quick caveat to that, I think the importance for me about team 1 being in that position, and while it does suck for team 2, you have to remember that team 1 doesn't get, if you win that first match, you don't get the benefit of double elimination, in this case the same way that team 2 would. So the balance out for that in my mind is the fact that you get to watch the team beforehand, and that you get to see the team that you're going to play against, and that information has to be enough to make up for the fact that you don't get that same cushion to fall back on in the way that in this case team 2 would have gotten.
Yeah, and also getting number 3 is also very valuable since you then get to pick who you will be playing, of course, in that first round. So there's a lot of nuances, and we'll have to see how it plays out. But are you guys excited to play in this format?
No, it's really whatever. Like we just have to get
win.
we just have to get first or second, and if we get third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, like
have to
we
win the
just,
rest.
we just have to win. Like the format is it's just the format. We cannot change it, so just have to play through it.
wow,
I love it.
You're so
inspirational.
relaxed,
Yeah,
bro.
just
You're
do
so
it.
relaxed. You're like, it
It's
doesn't
just
matter.
like how it is.
Jeez, it's like reading an inspirational book. Just
Yeah.
keep talking.
I am
Just
a
keep
book.
going.
There you go.
Then you had a period where you read a lot of those books, didn't you? Like
Yeah, I
was
was
it like self-help? And,
Yeah, I was inspired by
by all those.
Anthony Robbins.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else?
Robin Sharma.
There you go, man. Good. Get inspired.
Stuff. Well, I'm definitely excited to see how this plays out. Of course, we'll get more opinions from people on next PGLs, but I love it. It's it's a very good system. It's a pretty ingenious system as well. We'll see how it plays out. For now, we're also going to take a look at how tomorrow is going to play out. We will have a rematch of the summer finals between Schalke and Fnatic, among many other games. That'll be the first one. XLSK, G2 Rogue, Splice Origin, and Misfits Vitality. All in all, a pretty interesting week for you guys, I would say. Origin already passed the test. What do you think is going to happen versus Vitality?
I think if
What's the match of the week also?
I think if they play like today, we will easily beat them. So I'm confident that we will beat them, like regardless.
Okay.
I like your cool confidence
Yeah,
at all
it's like-
times. You're like, format doesn't matter. We'll beat them. Team doesn't matter. We'll beat them. Don't care.
We'll beat
Yeah,
them.
and if we lose, I don't care either.
Dang, this indifference, this nihilism.
It's inspirational.
I kind of
ask questions.
It's just a
like,
game,
Yeah.
Like, just chill. Like,
It's just a game.
just focus. Yeah.
I mean, I respect
Like losing
it.
or winning one game, like it shouldn't affect, like how you think going forward. So I don't know. I just have that mindset, and I feel like it's correct. So that's why I'm chill. I guess.
Would you say you're like just cool like this in any circumstance, or have you learned to be like this? I'm thinking of instances where, you went to game 5
And also,
against
to
SKT.
be fair-
Okay. So
whatnot.
I feel like that's really good if you can do that.
Yeah.
But obviously, no, I'm not, at that state yet, because you know, emotions are rolling all over the place, and it's,
We can see
you know,
that.
it's just,
Yeah.
I feel like it's possible, but
Is it something you actively train yourself for? Is what I mean.
I mean, it's not like I'm like, you know, checking every day, like, okay, I did this and I improved a bit. It's just like I have the mindset, and I feel like I'm not actively trying to get better at it. It's just, I feel like it's just naturally like happening.
Yeah.
Maxwell, you got this
Seem pretty
grin
calm.
on your face, and I know
You can
why.
ask
Because
this guy.
I remember the comment, too, because we started the segment, the first thing you said was like,
no,
I
nothing
respect Febby
happened.
so
Hey,
much.
what's your
He
opinion
gets
about it?"
mega tilted in scrims, and then he just wants to improve. That's what you said.
I didn't say that. You
Yeah,
can't-
that is exactly
I'm not
what you
showing me proof right now.
can't.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought. Cam.
Just kidding. You know, guys, you're awesome guests. You're like so cool and collected, and you just don't flame someone or something.
Yeah,
and
zero
everything's great.
emotions, just cool and
Zero
collected.
emotions, cool and collected, calm. I love it. Let's just finish off and look at some of the matchups here tomorrow as well. Call a surprise for me. Rogue beats G2.
I'm gonna say that won't be the surprise.
That won't be the surprise.
Honestly, it's hard for me to call because I like SKXL.
Oh, I have a surprise.
Ooh.
I've got Fnatic winning their first game.
Oh.
But Sjokz played really good
That's
today,
bold.
so I may have to change it.
No, I think Fnatic will lose.
If you're upset, right? And obviously upset's like been the new AD carry prodigy for a little bit. Hansama the generation before him, upset the newest generation. Are you satisfied if you beat this Fnatic in the current state that it's in? Are you like, I am better than Reckless, or are you kind of disappointed?
What?
What?
Does it mean anything to beat Fnatic and Reckless in the state they're in now if you're a player like Upset who's like so close to the top of the AD carry ladder?
Well, if I was upset, which I'm not.
Yes, I know. I know that you're not upset, thank you.
No, I mean, I wouldn't really.
Hypothetical.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really, because obviously it's not that Fnatic are weak. It's just they haven't, as you said, they have problems with synergy and they haven't really found their footing or their form. So it's like just beating up a kid that's on the ground. It's just not I mean, I'm not gonna say not satisfying. That's just weird. But no, it's
We get
just
what
like,
you're saying. We get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the same as Fnatic in their prime. World Finals Fnatic, right?
Yeah,
And obviously
yeah.
that's what you want.
I mean, you never know what's going to happen, right? Maybe you don't beat them now and they go on a 10-game winning streak, and Maxlore goes on a 10-game losing streak again, and then you're very happy you won versus Fnatic. Oh, I'm sorry, that was uncalled for.
You're
but
only allowed to make these jokes when
yeah,
he's winning.
there was. And I did want to ask you about it, actually, because that's what's kind of burning on people's lips is the whole, it's going so well, but will they make the same mistakes again? Is that something you ever think about? Or is it, you know what, it's a new team, it's completely new circumstances. I don't even think about that instance last year.
No, I definitely think about that. As I said, I didn't take it very well, and I was partially the reason why the team went down. And as I said, I learned from my experience, and I have fail safes right now, and I'm just trying my best to make, like, it's not like I'm gonna come here tomorrow like and be like this guy where it's like, yeah, we're gonna smash them. It's more, I'm still just coming in, gonna play my best, and I know my team will. And if we win, then that's great. Hopefully we find something to improve on. And if we lose, then it's not like we need to drastically change anything. We just need to talk about it as a team and get over it, really. Just getting over losses was, I guess, an issue the team had last year.
Okay. If you would play G2 tomorrow, would you win?
Honestly, I don't know, mate. As I said, no matter, we can play against SKT or Griffin tomorrow, I'm still going to come in tomorrow and say, yeah, I'm going to try my best no matter what.
Yeah, but it's that juicy matchup, though. Week 5, we're waiting
That's a
for
good
it. We're waiting
inspirational
for
quote,
it.
though. You did good there. I like that.
Yeah.
You're talking about this man
Good
giving the
stuff.
inspirational quotes. You came in there. Doesn't matter if it's Griffin. Doesn't matter if it's SKT.
You gotta
So
come in and
boring,
win.
man.
Love it. Well, you guys are just roasting each other constantly. It's like you're both trying to be super calm and collected, and then you just
You
say
both
something.
ruined
I know
it.
the answer who would win, but I'm not gonna say.
Just say it, Febby.
Wait,
Come
us
on.
against Griffin or G2?
Every team
Okay,
in the
go.
world.
Yeah, go on.
Every team in the
Say it.
We
world.
play
Go
Griffin
ahead.
tomorrow. What happens?
I'm gonna die 1v1 and we're gonna lose the game fast. Against Chovy, you know.
And on that note, And on that note, for more inspirational quotes, you can check our VODs. And all of those, along with the VODs of other major regions like LCK and LPL and minor regions like the LCS, are now hosted on youtube.com. Someone put that in. I would never say that. youtube.com/LOL Esports VODs. A lot of people were tweeting me about that. Where's VODs? Well, there's a new channel for youtube.com/LOL.
Also, I don't think there was an S there. It just says VOD.
Yeah, there wasn't an S there, but there is an S.
There is an S? All right.
I went to it several times. Like, I don't know who's
Trust the
trolling me.
lower third.
No, trust me. Trust me. Yeah, there's definitely an S. LOL
Got
Esports
it.
VODs.
There's an S, I've been told. They were very adamant about the S.
Right. Also, be sure to stick around because LCS Academy is also going to be starting up at 1 a.m. with Golden Guardians versus 100 Thieves. It's going to be hosted right here on twitch.tv/Riot Games. And then after that, you can check out our rebroadcast of the LEC on the same channel. It got a bit funny here. It got a bit, you know.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it's been a long day for everyone.
You guys played
so.
an intense game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was just chilling on the Rift.
I was just rolling around and leaning back in my chair.
That's kind of what we were doing as well on broadcast today. So I think.
I mean, obviously.
Have you used the phrase "roll it down mid" in a new game yet?
No, I just say let's run it down mid, or just like I'm just gonna
do it one time for me because Ender coined that in playtest and he's not here. So in the spirit of Ender being in the LEC, just one time in a game, just say we're gonna roll it down mid. That's all I ask.
Wait, do you want him to say it now? Or?
No, you can just say it in game. Say it in game to your teammates.
I
Doesn't have to be shared with the world. It's just like a little shout out to Ender.
I probably have said it, I just forgot.
There you go. That's for you, Ender.
Okie dokie. That will be all from us here tonight. We got some really good insight on Misfits. Of course, the best of luck to you guys tomorrow as well. You guys are on a roll, so we will see what happens versus Vitality. Drakos, thank you for joining me on PGL as well, and thank you guys at home all for watching. We'll be back tomorrow for more LEC. See you then.
Adios.
Adios, amigo. Is it done? We're done?
Yes.
One-for-one trade now. It's Banana Cap. All 5 members up here. There's the Vanguard's end. Only hits one. Boxer pots the crescent slash. Great equilibrium strike. The stun lands perfectly from Vitality. And now
Push mid. I sorry, lost. GG.
no Requiem used as of yet. Oh, true shot. Barrage. Oh! Humanoid jumps in, catches onto a did. The engage. There they go. Northscaven jumps in from the side. Now Sjokz trying to get on that backline, but he's out of position. This is a great fight for Splice. The Requiem comes out. Sjokz already dead. Heq down to about 300 HP. He's caught out by Humanoid. And Xerxes and Splice take their second win of the LEC.
Trying to get the shutdown gold. Cadril is worth so much money, but look at the burst damage. Caps isn't done yet. He's got one. He's got two. He's gonna get taken down. Now Cadril goes into the pit. Baron is available. It's stolen. Cadril, you beauty. Baron secured. Jankos is killed. And XL got a 4,000 gold Baron. Baron power play into the pit. It drags. Perks does it. He has been awakened. Exile is killed by Perks, but Jankos is taken down by Cadril. Caps is running amok. There's already a kill for Kasing. Now Caps has found one. He's found two. He's turning. Cadril manages to kill Mickey. Everybody's dying. It's not done just yet. Take a look at the push. XL Esports. They need to stop the Nexus. They cannot do it. And G2 are superior.
But now Schalke move towards the Baron. They have full control over it. The control ward is in there. Oh no, that's why it's gone. They still secure it though.
SK Gaming fancy themselves a shot. Elder's already been secured. Elder plus Baron. Ignor's chasing all the way forward. That's Camille. Manages to get taken over the wall. Period delivers momentum. It's a quadra kill for Upset. And in a controlled execution, Schalke defeat SK.
So don't need to run in. Play it slow. Nice.
No.
Nice. Go back in. Nice.
Misfits have done it, have defeated Origin in 31 minutes at 3-0. Is this your super team?